1971 to 1974. Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler.
Game 433, Phillies at Mets.
Welcome back, baseball fans. 1971-74 Carryover League. We have a series today in the National League between the Phillies and the Mets. Very, two ships passing in the night, it seems. The Mets, the best record in the National League a year ago until meeting the Cincinnati Reds in the League Championship Series, when the Reds blasted the Mets 4 straight. It shook the foundation of that franchise, and they have played poorly since, including this season. Unbelievable. Meanwhile, the Phillies had the worst record in baseball a year ago, and they went out and got some young rookies. Mike Schmidt, his second year, Gary Maddox's third year. They put an interesting team together. Let's go see what's happened. Game 1, we open up the best of 7 in Shea. Wayne Twitchell for the Phils, Gary Gentry, number 4 starter for the Mets. The Mets get to Twitchell in the 5th by batting around. Single, walk, double. It was a 3-run double there by Ed Kranepool. And one of the biggest outbursts by this Met offense all year, 5-0. They get to Gentry for a run in the 6th, and that's your scoring. 5-1 victory. Gary Gentry beats Wayne Twitchell. A good start for the Mets. Trying to find something from the past that they can build on. But in game number 2, a battle of lefties. Steve Carlton, 1972 27-game winner, but he has a tall task against Jon Matlack's 72 card, brilliant Rookie of the Year card, and he's always pitched well for me, it seems, in Strat, and this game does not disappoint. Bottom of the 2nd, they get to lefty with a long ball, a Bobby Darwin solo shot. After Willie Mays' stolen base in the 3rd, RBI single by Gil Garrido, 2-0. But the Phils come back off of Matlack in the 6th. Mike Schmidt solo shot. After Gary Maddox's stolen base in the 7th, RBI single Tony Taylor. This game is tied. We go to extra innings. A leadoff walk to Gary Maddox, and then a ground ball to Gil Garrido, an E12 third baseman, but he boots it. A sac bunt, a sac fly. They manufacture a 3-2 lead. Carlton, a starter 9. My starter 9s can go 10. He's going back out there for the bottom half of the 10th inning. It's happened a few times this year with limited luck. But he goes 3 up and 3 down to the 9th inning. Steve Carlton gets a 10-inning complete game. 7 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts. Jon Matlack, 9 innings of a no decision. 7 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. They beat Cy Acosta in relief. Series tied a game apiece. And now we go to Philadelphia. Game 3, Tom Seaver, Pat Dobson. Seaver's having a rough time getting that 71 card to reproduce. Not today. He does well. Mets get an RBI single by Grody in the 2nd. Then a 2-run homer by Ed Kranepool in the 6th. Runner at 2nd, and a 2-base error by Johnny Callison, an E1 right fielder. I had to chase this result, folks. Anytime an E1 outfielder makes an error, I'm just befuddled. And sure enough, a 2% chance happened in that particular case. An error. They get their 4th run. Seaver does serve up a 2-run blast to Darren Johnson to make it close. He gets a complete game. Seaver does. 6 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 9 strikeouts, and the Mets back and forth series win game 3. Back and forth series, and we have the 4th, as the Phillies are going to even this thing up in 4. Jerry Koosman, Wayne Twitchell on short rest. They get to Koosman early, a single, and then a run-scoring double play, a 2-run homer by Luzinski, RBI double by Gary Maddox. That's enough for Twitchell, who is much better. Twitchell put a ton of guys on base, but they didn't score. That's been the Met problem, as you can imagine. A walk, a single, double, walk, walk, single, walk, walk, single, and a double through 7 frames. None of those guys scored until John Milner led off the 8th with a solo shot. They went to the bullpen. Phillies get the win, 4-1. It seems like the Mets are just spinning their wheels. 4 games, no change in the overall standings, as they've split those games. And in Game 5 in Philadelphia, it's back to Matlack and Carlton on short rest. And of course, folks, it does not disappoint. Bottom of the 2nd, they get to the youngster Matlack. Couple walks, couple outs, and then RBI singles by Tony Taylor and Bob Boone, and that's your ball game, because Lefty is not having anything of the Mets this year. Steve Carlton, a 3-hit shutout, only needs 9 innings. He's pitched 19 innings in 4 days. That's how they justify that 27-win card. He's simply going to, if he's going to even come close to 27 wins, which he won't, he's going to have to pitch long into the night. 3-hit shutout, 3 walks, 12 strikeouts for Lefty, and now the Mets' season is in peril. Really disappointing year for the Mets. Probably one of the biggest underachievers to this point. Let's look at the overall standings in the National League East. Here we have the Braves having a great year, 13-6. And the Mets are closer to last place than first place or second place. Rather disappointing. Got to break the Phillies up, give them a little round of applause here, from being the worst team a year ago to being a game over 500. That's what getting Mike Schmidt and Gary Maddox and improving other pitching spots can do. So we're not quite up to that, 76, 75, 77, the Philly dynasty years, if you want to call them that. We're not quite there with the Phillies, but Steve Carlton shows what you could do if you put all of the pieces around him. And they're still in the hunt in the National League for a wild card spot, are the Phillies. Possibly a remote chance of the division. We're back in Shea Stadium. It is a Game 6, and this could be a wild one. We got number 4 starters today. For the Phils, Barry Lersch. 1971, 5-14 with a 3.79 ERA and 214 innings. Probably one of the parts that needs to be replaced for the latter part of the decade, I would guess. And it's Gary Gentry. Very quietly in 1971, was 12-11 with a 3.24 ERA and 203 innings. Of course, you remember Gary Gentry winning one of those 1969 World Series games against Baltimore. So, Phillies, Mets, Game 6. Mets need to win both of these to salvage their season. Leading off, it's Gary Maddox, 63. Flies into the left field. It's Cleon Jones, a 2-6 in left field. He makes the catch. Larry Boa, 44, catcher's card. Today we have Dyer getting the start with Grody getting the day off. And Luzinski, 58, flies left. John Milner, 310. That is going to be a walk into the leadoff spot. The Mets, one of the problems they have had, as you can guess, is they constantly juggle the lineup. They have not used the same lineup 2 days in a row because it's never produced 2 days in a row. Willie Mays, 69, 111, base hit. Runners on the corners for Wayne Garrett. 33, pops to first. Cleon Jones, 55, second C, and a run will score from third. Runner goes to second for Bobby Darwin. He bounces to short. 1-0. Top of the 2nd, it's Mike Schmidt. 47's a walk. He's going to try a stolen base, and he is going to be in there on a 7. The Phils have decided, even though the Mets have good catchers, they've decided they're just going to be aggressive, because what do they got to lose, right? And start attempting stolen bases. Johnny Callison, 1-9. Double 1-3 is a base hit, and that's an RBI. We're tied at 1. Tony Taylor, 67's a K. McCarver, 65, second X. This is today's second baseman. 3E26 is ground ball C. This is Lee Lacy playing second. And Darren Johnson, 110, flies to center. Bottom of the 2nd, it's Ed Kranepool. 33, pops out. Duffy Dyer, 68, is a base hit. Lee Lacy, 27, is a K. And Bud Harrelson, 67, is a K. Into the third we go. Denny Doyle, 2 7s, a base hit. Gary Maddox, 211, is a pop out. Larry Boa, 2-7, pops the third, and with 2 outs, it is Lozinski, 2-9, 2 columns there, bounces to short. All right, bottom of the third we go. Milner, 59, pops the third. Willie Mays, 47, is a K. Wayne Garrett, 46, is a K. Into the fourth, Mike Schmidt, 1-7. Let's take a look at the Mike Schmidt card of 1974. Hit 196 and 73, so they waited till this card came along. And it's not too far off of what he would do in 80 and 81. It's reasonably close. Probably better here than he would be in the next few years. Whereas, you know, he's just not quite as dominant. 1-7, triple 1-5, single, and it's a base hit for the first overall pick in this year's draft. Ace Steeler stole a base last time. They'll mix it up and he'll stay this time. For John Callison. 3-5, let's take a look at John Callison. Was a Yankee. I think he played for the Cubs and Phillies as well. 72, hit 258 with 9 home runs in half a season. Great throwing arm as a right fielder. 3-5, it is automatic. It is gone, and your Phillies are up 3-1. And the Shea Stadium faithful got that sick feeling in their stomach again as this season is unwinding fast. Tony Taylor, 64, skies the center. McCarver, 46, is a walk. Darren Johnson, 35, is a walk. Denny Doyle, 2 on, 1 out, 1-8, is a 6-4-3 double play. It's a ground out double play to Bud Harrelson, who will bail out your pitching staff most of the time there. 3-1 game. Bottom of the fourth, it's Cleon Jones. 2 7s, a K. Bobby Darwin, 410. That is gone. 410 automatic homer off a Lurch card. Boy, he serves them up. Let me just double check the home run numbers for this cat. Yep, 28 homers in 214 innings for that era. That's a lot. That's 3-2. Ed Kranepool, 2-9 first. And Duffy Dyer, 37, is a K. We have a 3-2 game in the fifth. Gary Maddox, 112. Fouled the catcher plus injury. Well, that'll help the Mets. As the Phillies defense has to suffer a little bit here. They don't really have a good replacement center fielder, as you could imagine, for Gary Maddox. They're going to have to send Roy Foster into the outfield. In right field, they'll move Callison in the center, where his range will now be a 4. So they're a pretty horrible outfield defense for the Phillies at this time. Larry Boa, 410 short X. This is the Harrelson. Probably don't even have to roll for his short X's. Lozinski, 1-9 single. And Schmidt will bat with the man on. 2-2, bounces to short. Bottom of the fifth. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right, 3-2, Mets trailing in the fifth. It's Lee Lacy, 5'10", center X. Oh, we just talked about that. He's a 4-1 in center field, but he makes the play. Johnny Callison, most talented of those 4 outfielders. Bud Harrelson, 1-8 is a base hit. Now, he might try a steal. Get something going. He'll try one. He's in there. He's at second after stolen base. John Milner, 1-6 is a K. And with 2 outs, it's Willie Mays. 66 off of Lurch's second X. 2E14 for Mr. Oh, a cheap single off the 2 second baseman. That extends this inning with speed on the corners and 2 out. Playing back and holding for Wayne Garrett. 53, first X. And this is Darren Johnson. He's a 2E11. And he kicks a ground ball. And the Phillies blow that. That's terrible. So the 4 makes the catch, but the 2s blow the inning. And this is a tie game now. First and second with 2 outs for Cleon Jones. 48. And that is going to be double 1-5. That's going to be single ... That will score another run. Garrett ends up at third as the Mets claim a gift inning here for Bobby Darwin. 59 right. Gentry giving up a gift. 2 gift runs, and he has a 4-3 lead in the 6th. Here is Johnny Callison. 65 second X. 326 at second base makes the play. Tony Taylor, 2-8, base hit. High run at first for McCarver. 2-8, lines the first. Aaron Johnson, 3-11, flies to right. Bottom of the 6th. Ed Kranepool, 49, homer, 1 of 14 off of Lersch. It is gone! And this is what kills you for this Lersch card. That's 28 home runs he gave up, and then it's a 5-3 game. Duffy Dyer, 6-7, single and a 1, he lines out. Lee Lacy, 6-10, catcher's card. 4E12 catcher. And that's an error. Sloppy Philly team. You kind of expect this with the Phillies. Like I said, they're game over 500. You win, you lose, you win, you lose. They're a young team trying to figure out how to get to that next step. And yeah, Lacy's a C. Harrelson's going to do a 1-out hit and run here. Moves the runner up to second with 2 outs for Milner. 46 is a K. Defensively, they're going to bring Gil Gerardo in. And he'll be the new third baseman. Garrett goes to DH, helping Gentry some more. 5-3 in the 7th. Short leash here for Gentry, as the Mets need this, and they have a fantastic bullpen. Matter of fact, so short is the leash, they're going to go to it. They're going to pull Gentry, and they're going to, you know, the Mets underused bullpen because they've had such a bad year. You got McGraw, Acosta, Frizella. Arguably the best 3 in the back end of any bullpen. Here's Danny Frizella that come on in the 7th. In 71, 8-5 with a 1.98 ERA and 91 innings. Danny Frizella. He'll face Denny Doyle. Well, he'll just hit away here. No need for a pitch hitter. 6'10", second X. 3 at second base makes the play. Back up top to Roy Foster, who's in there for Maddox, the injured Maddox. 2-5, grounds to third, and with 2 outs, it's Larry Boa. 1-5, flies to right field. Stretch time here in Shea Stadium. The Mets fans finally get a nice result to this point. A 5-3 lead in the 7th. We've been enjoying 74's Lou Reed, Rock and Roll Animal Live LP. Sweet Jane, Heroin, White Light, White Heat, Rock and Roll. Lou Reed transforming for us here in 1974 in Shea. Bottom of the 7th, Barry Lersch will exit. They can't afford any more runs. They're going to go with Jerry Johnson in the 7th. Jerry Johnson he was a giant in 71. 12-9, 297 ERA and 109 innings. Nice little year for Jerry Johnson. Later pitch for the Phillies. And leading off for the Mets, it's Willie Mays. 59, skies the center. Wayne Garrett, 1-9, flies to right. And with 2 outs, Cleon Jones, 2-8, bounces to short. 8th inning. Frizella is good against lefties. He'll pitch through to Callison, I believe. Lazinski, 38 is a K. Mike Schmidt, 49 is a K. And Callison, 1-7, pops to third base. We'll most likely see Tug McGraw on the 9th. Bottom of the 8th, Fred Gladding will come in for the Phillies. He was an Astro in 72. 5-6, 276 ERA and 49 innings. It'll be Bobby Darwin. 1-5 is a walk. Ed Kranepool, 37, flies to center. Duffy Dyer, 43, left X. Lazinski's a 4-13. That is a single ... They'll find your defense. You don't have to worry about that in the Strat-O-Matic. They'll find it at the worst times. Runners on the corners, they bring it up for Lee Lacy. 65, there's your sac fly, and that's called insurance. 6-3 lead for Bud Harrelson. Single to left. First and second now. Back up top to Garrido, who replaced Milner defensively. 1-6 flies to left. Well, this seems pretty academic here, as Tug McGraw comes into the game a little rusty. His numbers aren't spectacular this year. How could they be? The Mets have not given him a ton of leads to work with. But he's got a 3-run lead here in the 9th. Tug McGraw's brilliant card of 71. 11-4, the 1.70 ERA. Into the 9th we go. And leading off for the Phils, it'll be Tony Taylor. 48 is a K. You know, McCarver's going to swing away. As you know, McGraw is better against righties. 2-4 bounces to second, and with 2 outs, the dangerous Darren Johnson. 3-6. Let's take a look at Darren Johnson's card with 2 outs in the 9th. Yeah, 34 bombs in 71, and that's one of them. 3-6 is gone, and now it's 6-4. Now you're seeing that insurance run, how valuable that has become. Denny Doyle will swing away. Again, he's not so bad against lefties. 3-10 is a walk on the Doyle card, and suddenly McGraw's making everybody nervous and Shea, as per, yeah, it'll be Roy Foster. Let's take a look at this guy. Roy Foster was a Cleveland Indian in 71, had 18 homers, 400 plate appearances. Phillies selected him to platoon with Johnny Callison. Has to play today because of the Gary Maddox injury. He is the tie run, has a ton of home runs, so McGraw has to be careful here against the dangerous Roy Foster in the 9th of a 6-4 game. And here's the pitch. 2-9 for Roy Foster, bounces to third, and that is your ball game. It is a 6-4 victory. They get a run in the 9th off our boy McGraw, but that is about it. That means that we will have a game 7. It's been Mets-Phillies, Mets-Phillies, Phillies-Mets. It's been the one loss in this series. McGraw gets a save, solo home run, walk and a K. 2 nice innings for Frisella with 2 Ks. Gentry pitched long enough to get a win. 6 hits and 3 runs. 3 walks, a strikeout. Fred Gladding came on in the 8th, gave up 2 hits, a run, and a walk. Jerry Johnson, a spotless 7th, but it was the long ball that doomed Barry Lersch. 7 hits, 5 runs. Actually, only 3 of those were earned. And a walk and 8 strikeouts. 1019, 0108, 6947, 6947, 4428, 2844. Game 6 is in the books, and I don't know what to make of it, folks. You have no change in the overall standings after playing 6 baseball games with these 2 clubs, which means both of them have a lot of work to do. And of course, somewhere the Atlanta Braves are laughing, realizing that there's no team competent enough to punch them in the face, as the Braves have all the home run power anybody could want. And it certainly is shaping up to this point to be the Braves' year, in a timeline that generally wasn't too forgiving to them. Your overall standings with it, well, your stats for your Mets: 13-15 Mets season, hitting .236, 3.49 ERA. Those are clearly unacceptable. Matlock is 5-2 and has 3 complete games. Might go to the All-Star game again. McGraw's got 5 saves. Power numbers, well, you got Kranepool's got 4 dingers. Nobody has 20 RBI. The leading hitter, I don't know. Even Cleon Jones isn't doing much. He's 32 for 117. That's 274. That's okay, but you know, it's bleh. There's some blah numbers here for the Mets, as you can expect. And the Phillies, Carlton's just 4-3. Half of those wins have come in this series. He's got 6 complete games. Will he go to the All-Star game? 19 times 9 divided by 81. He's got a 2.11 ERA. He might be the lone representative for the Phillies. Power numbers here. You do have Mike Schmidt. Oh, the kid, the rookie. He might go to the All-Star game. He has 7 home runs, 16 RBIs. He's got 5 stolen bases, but he's hitting .240. Tony Taylor's got 35 hits. He's 35 for 113. Hitting .310. So, yeah. Anyway. Overall standings, this is where it started At least this is the same because they've split 6 games, so nothing happened overall. A steady division, the National League East. Against the American League, they're 2 under 500. Against the rest of the National League, they're 3 over. So you have a net of +1. This is a +1, so pretty ordinary, nothing special other than the Braves up top. All right, we'll have a Game 7 and give you those results at the end. Thanks for checking us out. We'll see you next time. Well, baseball fans, here is the box score of Game 6 that you just saw, with the Mets beating the Phillies 6-4, setting up a Game 7 in Shea Stadium. And it was a special Game 7. It was a really good game. It was Pat Dobson, the 20-game winner from the Baltimore team in '71, when they had 4 20-game winners. Baltimore sent him to the Phillies for Grant Jackson in a trade I made. And then against Tom Seaver, 71 Seaver, who pitched fantastic last time out. And Tom Seaver, he's on a roll. He does it again, folks. Scoreless game into the 8th inning. After a single, it's a 2-run homer by Wayne Garrett off of the Dobson card. A dejected off the Pat Dobson card. A dejected 7 1/3, 8 hits and 2 runs by Dobson. No walks, 4 Ks. A jubilant complete game shutout by Tom Seaver. 4 hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. The Mets win Game 7. They win this series 4-3. And when we look at the overall standings, there's one little tiny bit of good news for the Mets, if you want to call it that. They do slide into 2nd place, having the tiebreaker they just accomplished over the Phillies by winning that series 4-3. So the Mets do get 2nd at the All-Star break, meaning that they will play the Braves unless something... Yeah, they're going to play the Braves because nobody can catch them at this point. When the postseason tournament begins... And that might keep the Mets season alive longer, as the Phillies and Marlins will play for an elimination, assuming when the postseason tournament starts. So, and it also gives the Mets revenge on their mind. They have one more chance to beat the Braves, a team that beat them 4-1 earlier this year. That's it. Break up your New York Mets. They do win the series 4-3. We'll see you next time.